Hello Trufkin, and welcome to another video about the Battle of Tukayyid Online, and today we are going to be making a clan force for the Battle of Tukayyid Online campaign that we're running, and we're going to create one particular force from the Jade Falcons. So I've chosen the 9th Talon cluster from the Jade Falcons Alpha Galaxy. It doesn't really matter what they're called because we're using one generic format for all of our clan forces, where the clan forces will be made of 3 stars of mechs and 3 stars of elementals. And for all the details about how to make your clan force, head on over to my blog here at comstar.home.blog and the Battle of Tukayyid Online. And we can see here we've got the information about how to make a clan force. So we're going to make 3 separate forces. I'm only going to make one now, but the idea is to make 3 separate forces, each of 18,000 BV. And each of that 18,000 BV is going to split into exactly 5 clan mechs, and they can be either Omni mechs or second line mechs. Who'd bring a second line mech to Tukayyid, honestly? Solomar and Freebirth, that's who. So have 5 Omni mechs and then having 5 points of elementals. And as we go through, we'll just have a look at the requirements there. No vehicles, no conventional infantry, no Hell's horses here, and all top line equipment from 3052 and before. So, fact checkers out there might be thinking, but this particular unit, this particular cluster, didn't include Novas, etc. Well, we're not exactly sticking to the exact composition for units. We're allowing players to choose what composition they want. But here's kind of an example there of the our thinking of the clan Jade Falcon. Here we go, Talon cluster, and you can see we've got Alpha Trinary there. And so this is basically making Alpha Trinary and then using the elementals there, which are these symbols here, the MW, having 3 stars of elementals as well. So that's kind of the idea of the force, and those are aerospace, but we're not having aerospace in this campaign. Definitely something for the future, but I think a lot of people struggle with using aerospace in Mega Mech. So we're gonna do this the proper Trueborn clan warrior way and just roll some dice. So if you go to the wonderful Battle of Tukayyid supplement, and again, I won't put the screenshots of this up on the screen to avoid copyright infringements, but there you go, there's the picture. You can use the Battle of Tukayyid supplement, the Chaos Campaign supplement, or you can use the Battle of Tukayyid supplemental, which is an additional document which has a bit more information. And you can either choose your mechs, or you can just roll them randomly after choosing what type of formation you want. And we're not using formations as in the 4 rules for them, but we're just using that as a guide to what to include. So I'm going to click on Jade Falcon. I'm going to go down to the it's in the Chaos Campaign section. There we go. We're going to click on the Clan Organization chapter, and in the Clan Organization chapter it tells you about the organizations, and then it's got all of the random tables. And you can have Assault Stars, Battle Stars, Fire Stars, and Light or Heavy Striker Stars. There's actually 2 types of Striker Stars. Light Striker Stars have no Assault Mechs, and Heavy Striker Stars have no Light Mechs. So we're going to make something simple. We're going to make a Fire Star. And Fire Stars can include a bit of everything here. And I'm going to go for, and this is a good amount, I'm going to go for 1 Assault, 1 Heavy, 2 Medium, and 1 Light. It doesn't actually say anywhere in the document what the actual composition of each star is exactly, so it's pretty much up to you what you want to put in. But we're going to also have 5 elementals, and we're going to do this randomly, and this comes out really well to the value of the 18,000 BV, which is why we picked it. We didn't just pick the number out of the air. It comes out really well to getting that value. So we're going to pick Assault Mechs. And I'm going to pick up my trusty D6 here. I should get an online dice roller here. And one of the important things when choosing for the Battle of Tukayyid Online is we are going to choose all of our mechs in the prime configuration. And that's because later on you can swap them and reconfigure the omnipods at a cost. So let's start with our assault mech. We got a 3. Okay, we're going to have a gargoyle. So add a combat unit, clans, an executioner. Can't say the inner sphere name. Executioner, choose the prime format, select. Oh, I've got 2 there. 2 for the price of 1. And as you can see, it already gives it a clan pilot of 3-4. Just before we go any further, I'm going to change the random name generator to clan. There we go. So that's our first mech. Let's go for our second mech. This time we're going to choose 1 heavy from the Fire Star. 2 Mad Dog Prime. Everyone likes a Mad Dog. Those dirty spheroids call it a vulture, but it's always going to be a Mad Dog. Okay, we're going to have 2 mediums now. 3, that's going to be a Stormcrow. Oh no, it's not a Stormcrow, it's an Ice Ferret. And 6, that's going to be a Stormcrow. So Stormcrow and an Ice Ferret. Stormcrow Prime. You can see the years here as well, so you know which configurations are valid. There are actually some erratas from the Battle of Tukayyid Online, just in case you don't know, or from the actual main Battle of Tukayyid book, you can't have any configurations with ATMs because they weren't brought around till 3055. So we need to have an Ice Ferret, Fenris, and last of all we're going to pick 1 light. Now in this case you can actually look and you can see that there is an option here that you could swap out your mech that you roll maybe for the Jade Falcon specific light mech of a Fire Falcon. So that's one option. You could like substitute your dice roll and change that to the mech. So for instance, for light mechs, it's the Jade Falcons have the Fire Falcon. For medium mechs, they have the Black Lana, which is just about fluffy because the Black Lana was just about introduced into Kid. It just appeared there, it didn't appear before. And then for heavy mechs, you've got, of course, the Hellbringer, the 4, which is a classic Jade Falcon, and the Nightgyre, which is a great mech, and the Crossbow as well. So lots of heavy mechs there you could swap out. And then we've got for assault, you've got the Takina. Again, on the edge of whether or not that's loud or not, but you know, we're going with this document, so the Takina was just kind of, I guess, turning up at that time. So we're going to do our light mech, and we're just going to roll it, see what we get. So Firestorm, we're going to get 3, which is going to be a Mistlynx. Always quite good for jumping around, Mistlynxes. Okay. So now we've added this, I can see the BVs right in the region I really want, because I really want the BV to be around about 14 or below, because I'm going to add my elementals in now. And when you add the elementals, add them last when you're doing your list, because they're the easiest part, elemental battle armor, and select them all as laser. Okay, so you're going to select them all as laser. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one mistake I think Megamech makes, it's not really a mistake, but just not fluffy, is that all of the elementals should be 3-4 because they're veteran, and anti-mech troops in Megamech start at 5, whatever. And if you go by Total War, there's a table in Total War about this, that the Trueborn elementals should be 3-4. Okay, so now I'm going to just hit the random name generator again. give these things some clan names. Let's make this one a Star Captain. I always forget which way around it is. If it's Star Captain is in charge of a trinary and Star Commander is in charge of a star, I think. So she's going to be the whole force commander. Star Captain April. Let's make it Star Captain April Hazen. Let's give her a blood name. Okay, so we're actually down a lot. We've got 15,783 out of a total of 18,000, and that's soon going to go down because we're going to make these guys a bit more elite. Let's make our commander worthy of the Hazen blood name. Already you can see that's shooting straight up. I'm going to make our point commander here. So point commander is the typical designation for an elemental. And let's make him 2-3. That's not going to add too much cost to it. And just out of interest, how much would that gladiator cost to be a 1-2 to be an elite pilot? Oh, that is tempting. So now I've gone up to 17,868, and I pretty much now can then think, I could maybe make a couple of these elementals a little bit better trained. There you go. Not going to get much closer than that. So we've got our elemental Greg. Funny name. It's like Bob. Yeah, elemental Bob. So we've got our elementals there. We've got our star of mechs, and we've got our pilots all sorted out, and we've got our BV of 7922. So that's one force. Okay. So it's really easy to make a clan force. It really is a case of just rolling up or choosing, you don't have to roll, choosing 5 mechs, or choosing 5 second line mechs if you really want to dishonour the clans like that, and then choosing 5 elementals, all with the laser configuration, and then the clan elementals all have to be in the prime configuration. So I'm going to save that for later because that's quite useful. 9th Talon. Let's stick that into my saved files. But here's one I did earlier, so I'm going to basically just open one up here, and I'm going to load a unit list here, and we're going to choose one I put in earlier. So let's find my So we've got our Falcon Guard that I made here. Very, very fluffy one. Now, unfortunately, they're a bit mixed up, the Falcon Guards, because one thing you can't do in Mega Mech, and it constantly annoys me, is you can't drag and drop and change the order of the units. The reason you can't is because behind the scenes here, every time you create a unit, it gives it a unit number, and that unit number is kind of behind the scenes. There is an option for you to make it visible, but then it puts them in unit order. So we've got our first 5 here, which are our Alpha trinary, Alpha Star, and then we've got our second 5 here, down to this 4, and then we've got another 5 here. And what I wanted to show you though in doing this is what do you do when you want to create a track force that makes this a lot easier. Okay, so I'm going to create a bot. I'm going to add a bot here. Doesn't matter what the box is called. I'm going to call it track force. So in a track, you are basically required to bring a certain percentage of your force. So in this case, we're bringing 33%. And I want to bring 33%, so 18,000 BV. Now I could just bring one whole star, including 5 elementals. So that would be really easy. Or I could pick and choose. I could pick, so for instance, I want to bring just 6 mechs. Okay. One of the rules that we're using for Battle of Tukayyid Online is that if you want to bring elementals, you have to carry them in, unless they're being combat dropped by a scenario. So the one problem with playing second line mechs is you can't carry elementals, so instantly you have to cut out some of the elementals. But you can have second line mechs. You could have 1 star of Omni mechs and 2 stars of second line mechs, and then just mix it up to get your 18,000. It doesn't matter how many units you actually take to make up that 33%. So you could pick up all your lights and mediums and end up with 7 or 8 mechs. Or you could just pick all your heavies and assaults and end up with 4. You know, either way, it's completely fine. As long as you end up with the percentage of your BV, you're fine. Okay, it's not fluffy, but it's fine as far as gameplay is concerned. So what we're going to do is just show you if I want to pick and add things to my track force here. I can select all of my things here down to, I think, this 4 down here with horse. This is a fluffy list here. I'm going to go into my prime list. So I'm going to put them into the track force by changing their owner. And I'm going to add that 4 there. There you go. So I've got 17,982. Now here's the next bit that you can want to do. You might want to, for instance, change the configuration of some of these mechs. So we've got, here they are in a different colour, and I'll just make them a completely different colour just to make it really easy to separate which ones I'm using. So I've got these in green, and I want to actually change my Mad Cat configuration to a Mad Cat S, okay, which is legal. So to do that, I'm going to go to the Add a Combat unit, and I'm going to look for our Mad Cat, our Timberwolf S. And you can see there's Timberwolf S. We can't use the Timberwolf Pride technically, because I suppose you could use it, but we're going to stick with the S because technically the Pride isn't a main unit. But we're going to use the S here. I would guess actually it'd be allowed to use the Pride version. We're going to use the S because it's canon. So we're going to put on the S anyway, and it's under the requirement of 3052, so that's fine. So we're going to select it there. And now you can see that we have to move it. So let's move that into the track force. So now we've got 2 Timberwolves, and we don't want 2 Timberwolves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the pilot of this Timberwolf with this one. And just to know, this costs a number of service points equal to the tonnage divided by 4. So that's about, what, 18 or something, doing a mental arithmetic. It doesn't cost a lot of service points to change Omnimech configuration. This is one of the great things about Omnimechs. But it does change the BV. So I'm going to swap pilots with the... oh, I did that completely wrong. Let's do that back again. Swap pilots back with the 4. Okay. Nope. Okay. Who have I accidentally swapped pilots with? Oh, the Dragonfly. Okay. Swap pilots with the Dragonfly. So I'm going to swap this guy out. I'm going to swap the pilot into the other Timberwolf S. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to delete this. And it's a good idea to save this as a separate file, because you don't want to overwrite your original. So I'm going to click delete, get rid of that one. And now I can tell my force is 17,448. And I might still want to go ahead for that, or I might want to change something else. So I might want to say, okay, I want to change my Dragonfly configuration. So let's have a look at the Viper configurations. So add a combat unit, Vipers. What Vipers have I got here? So I've got the Viper A, slightly more expensive. So let's take one that's more expensive. So if I took, for instance, the Viper B, which is very expensive here, ERPPC. I've used the Viper B. It's great as a sniper. You just jump around with a target number modifier of +4 and then hit people with the PPC. So I'm going to hit the Viper B. I'm going to swap that into change that into my track force, and then I'm going to swap the pilot. So I'm going to put Joanna into, not the Joanna, she's in a different one. She's now 4 in the alpha trinary, alpha star, alpha trinary. So we're going to change owner to swap pilot with, there we go, swap pilot with Viper B. And then I can delete this Viper. And I can see now that I'm at 17,950. So I'm still under the 18,000, and I've spent 2 lots of reconfigurations. Now the other thing you can do as well, you can reconfigure elementals for free. So if we want to assign Brianna, okay, wonderful name, Brianna, and we want to make this elemental a machine gun elemental to take care of some infantry, we can just go back to add a combat unit. We can go to elemental body armor, we can add a machine gun. Let's put that into the track force, change owner to track force, and then we can just swap pilots again. That way you don't have to keep retyping in your pilot details. And then that costs you nothing. So reconfiguring in the fluff, elementals, their weapons are modular. You can just snap them off, snap them back on again. Okay, and now we can look on 18,893. So what you can't change, of course, is anything about the pilots, the skill, and you can't change pilots between your mechs. That's not allowed. This is not what it's doing. You're just basically, it's the same mech. You're just changing the configuration. So there you go. That's how you can easily change configurations. And then when you want to, you can just click on the track force there and do save unit list, and you can just say track, I know, flower power, which is one of the track flower power, and hit that. And if you go to the compact display, and this doesn't work on a Mac for some reason, but it works on the Windows version, and if you highlight all of the ones here that are in that track, then, which is all of them from here, I think, so 1, 2, 3, there you go. You can actually copy those. You can't do it by right-clicking and copy. You just press Control-C and copy that, and then you can paste that into a Excel spreadsheet or a Word document, and then from there paste it into your TO&E. And if you go to my TO&E, let's just pull up my TO&E for this. I'll bring it over onto the board. We've got all the TO&Es here displayed, and if I go to Clan Jade Falcon, Gamma Galaxy Falcon Guards, you can see I've got my command star, and I've had to insert the tonnages because that doesn't get copied across, and you really need to know the tonnages when you do repairs. Our Alpha star, our Bravo star, and we've got these elementals that actually come from a different star, which is just fluffy. So each force element comes out to below 18,000, 18,000 or below. Now with clans, you don't need to worry about tech level or standard units because they're all tech level A, which is the tech rating A or equipment rating A, which means they're just all Omni-mechs and they're all clan technology. We'll do some more videos later about repairing, and watch out later, we are going to have our live stream as well of our first battle with the Comstar versus the Smoke Jaguars. Till next time, Selah.